Education, and I'm excited to be here today with Jay McGonigal, author, researcher of Reality is Broken, and it is. And so we're going to see if we can put it back together in the next 3 minutes or so.
Oh, good. I like a good challenge.
Good deal. How are you doing today?
I'm great, thanks.
Thank you for coming to Microsoft to talk with our teachers here at the Innovative Education Forum. You've been doing a lot of work, a lot of research, and you've been challenging people to think differently about reality as it relates to gaming. What's going on?
Well, you know, what I've been looking at is the kind of engagement that happens in games that doesn't seem to happen in our schools, in our workplaces, in our real lives.
Right.
And the qualities of engagement, you know, how we are more curious, more determined, more optimistic. We learn faster from our mistakes,
right,
and we're more resilient in the face of failure. These are qualities that if we could take the kind of immersion and feedback and collaboration that happens in games and bring it to our real work, real learning, and real lives, we could have some of those positive emotions and kind of gamer superpowers.
Right. You talk a lot about failure in your book.
Yeah.
Talk about that research. I share conversations with people from time to time that if you fail at a job and get fired, you want to erase that from your resume.
Yeah.
You don't want to put that on an application. But if you fail in business, people will hire you tomorrow.
Right, it's true, because you've learned something. Yeah.
So how can we balance the two from what you've learned through gaming in the workplace for the classroom?
Yeah, so it's really interesting. You know, a lot of my research, I look at both research on games and then research on learning, research in psychology. One of the studies I'm really interested in that came out last year showed that students learn better by taking tests than by studying for tests. Because when you take the test, you actually get real concrete feedback on what you know, what you don't know, and so essentially being able to fail and get that feedback, so you see where the gaps are, you can actually build learning, actually helps you learn better. And of course, that's what happens in games, right? And there's no fear that if I don't, finish the level or complete the quest the first time I try, I'll never get to play the game again, or there'll be like some big F on my, Xbox achievement instead of having an achievement badge with all of a bunch of Fs, you know? So trying to bring that mindset of knowing that trying is what helps us learn, and allowing students to try and fail and have that not be a grade, but rather an opportunity to learn and get better. That's one of the things that an interesting charter school in New York City is trying, called a charter school called Quest to Learn. The curriculum was co-designed by game designers.
Right.
And so just how they're thinking about failure and learning is totally inspired by video games, and students are allowed to keep taking the test until they get the grade that they like. The same way you would keep playing a game to get the score you want.
So talk about the time differential from the feedback of failure or the feedback of success. In games, it's pretty immediate.
Yeah.
But in reality, not so much. Does that have an impact on learning?
Yeah, of course, yeah, because you want to know right away while you're still engaged, so you can try again, right? I mean, it would be interesting to imagine a test where the minute you get it wrong, you're told you get it wrong, and then you get to try again. And maybe, yes, you still have an hour for the test, but you can keep
know that
going.
This answer is wrong.
Yeah, and keep trying until you get to the right one. Wouldn't work so well on multiple choice, but an open-ended math test, for example, might work better.
So that kind of speaks to, 48 states in the Union have adopted Common Core state standards. They're trying to figure out what assessment looks like, next generation assessment.
Yes.
What would you tell chief state school officers about those next generation assessments and how to incorporate your research into them?
Yeah, well, I think we do not want to assess students on a single shot that they have, because in the real world, you do get feedback, you do have extended opportunities. So to think about assessment not as a test you take once, and no matter how you feel that day, if there's stress at home, if you didn't have a good night's sleep, I know, everything could affect it. To actually think about assessment as allowing students to get to their best at a time that is right for them, so you can actually see the students at their best rather than just a snapshot of some random moment in time.
Microsoft's got a lot of gaming assets. What do we need to do to kind of bring the things we do with gaming into the classroom so that reality can be mended back together?
That's a great question. I mean, I think that getting students involved hands-on sort of social problem solving, some of the teachers who are here for this conference are actually having students make games to try to solve local problems, right? Like what happens when students can't get into a classroom because there's construction, and doing distance learning right on site, and using game technologies to help facilitate that. So I think connecting the game technologies and those technology skill sets with local problems, social challenges,
right,
where it's clear to the community, it's clear to the school system that it has a positive impact beyond just the learning that the students are getting, but also being of service to the community.
That's going to be outstanding. Part of citizenship.
Yes, exactly.
I'm looking forward to your conversation later on today.
Thank you.
Because it's going to be exclusive, so you guys that are watching this webcast won't be able to see it, but buy the book, Reality is Broken by Jane McGonigal, and you'll be able to get a lot more insight that Jane will be sharing, just even a snippet with the people that are here at the IEF. Thank you, Jane.
Sure.
Appreciate
Great to
meeting
talk to
you. Appreciate having this conversation.
Okay.
Bye.
What are these?
Those are smiley stickers. Mrs. Krabappel used to put them on our papers as a reward for good work.
I run a paperless classroom. Check this out.
But this is just nonsense punctuation. Oh my God!